BrewTube edition. I've got my buddy Elmo joining me here. Sadly, his puppeteer has had a little bit of court trouble and things of that sort, so maybe he'd be in prison soon. So Elmo's decided to join me for a little bit of Christmas/holiday libation, and we're going to get this from our buddies in the UK at Ridgeway Brewing. It's going to be their Criminally Bad Elf. And before I get into this, I want to give my little shout outs to my UK buddies. We got Terry Beer Goggles, we got Tuvar, and we got Ging Real Ale Trail. What up, guys? We're having a little bit of brew from your side of the pond today. Anyways, not to digress for too long. Criminally Bad Elf is an English barley wine, 10.5% ABV and 30 IBUs. And this is a little bit special version. This is a Cellared version. This is 2011. Why? Because I've had this beer before, and I've had it in its fresh format. And I've got my notes from last year here that we did on this. We did our little geek sheet, of course, because you know I'm beer geeking out all the time. And when I had it last year, it was basically like drinking Christmas moonshine, sort of. It's really boozy, really up in your face, really warming. It's supposed to be a winter warmer, so that's what it's doing. And it's the big bad version of a lot of those other ones, other Ridgeway beers that we had in the Christmas and summer party that you can check out. I'll leave a link down here, or maybe in an annotation. In the video, you can check out the Christmas and summer party when we drank a whole boatload of Christmas beers and got totally crunked, and I had to become the stunt drinker at the end, and Johnny Boy had to become the beer geek, if you can imagine that. But anyways, there was a few knocks besides the fact it was like moonshine. Like I said, it was boozy, it's sort of harsh, it's a little bit translucent and thin, but you know, sticky sweet. But I did like it in a lot of ways, and I think I gave it like about a B+ back then. And what I was wondering, this is a fairly inexpensive barley wine as it goes, what a year would do to it. So I've had this in the refrigerator an entire year. Can't wait to drink it. Let's get the cap popped on this, guys, and get it going. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, the cap popper has trouble with these Christmas beers. Dag. There we go, I got it off now. Wow, I was getting worried there. Woo, big hiss off the top. I can smell the booze wafting off this bad boy already. Unremarkable red crown. Set this here on last year's note. We got our Mad Elf. Oh, look, listen to that. That's a good bit of crystal. Too good for my like. But anyway, let's get this into the snifter and see what we got going on here, guys. Oh yeah, same colors I remember last year. Now I didn't get a lot of head when I poured it last year. Let's see if I can agitate this bad boy and get something going. Oh yeah, we got a big old bottle, so we're gonna pour this one tall. There we go. Now, look at that. That's a lovely beer, guys. We got a solid, almost 2-finger khaki off-white head and really tight bubbles. Now consider that, guys. This is a year-old beer. It's been cellared in the fridge the whole time, so it's been quite stable. But it's 10.5% alcohol by volume, and that's quite a good head considering. Okay? Real tight bubbles, a little sudsy, kind of rocky at the top. Big-time alcohol legs. I remember that from before. The appearance is pretty much the same as before. It's a darker copper color, with some sort of honey flashes coming through it, and it's perfectly clear. I can see totally through the other side. And our Mad Elf is joining up with our Criminally Bad Elf today. Mad Elf is actually higher alcohol than this one. Anyways, let's get a nose on this, see what we got going on. Right up at the front, like before, I'm getting the booze, but it's not as strong as last year. I'm getting honey notes again. More dark fruits this time than last time because it had a year to develop. Malt. The hops are faded compared to last year. I got some floral hops, I'm saying here, last year. And it does not remind me as much of moonshine as I did before. In my description that I wrote down on my notes here before from last year, I was saying that it had like a fruit moonshine kind of smell, and that's what it did. If you guys have ever had moonshine, I don't know if you have or not, but in this area, you live around Virginia, you can get your hands on that stuff. So, man, I'm raring to go on this. I've let this warm up a little bit. It's still a little too cool for barley wine. It should be about 10 degrees to 14 degrees Celsius, or you know, maybe like 50 to 57 degrees Fahrenheit. But let's give it a drink, see what we got going on. Our head settled down, as you can see, but still solid. And when I swirled it like this, man, there's a ton of alcohol legs. Let's get it. Wow, that is a lot better. Let me get another drink of that. I gotta have some more of that. Wow. Already. Now I'm not sure how it's going to be when it's warm. I'm going to let it warm up and give you a better assessment of it. It's a lot less boozy. It's way more composed. That British yeast that they use in that is blooming up a bit more of the dark fruits. And that's, man, that's a way more tasty brew. It's super smooth. It's still got that big alcohol warming going down, but there's less of that booze taste in your mouth when you hit it. It's not like I'm taking a sip off the mason jar. So let me let this one warm up, guys, and we'll be back. We'll give you some final thoughts, rate, grade, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to drink on this because I got some little cooking to do, and we'll be back. Ho, 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 guys, I'm back. Man, I'm glad I aged this beer. This is a delicious barley wine when you age it. When you first buy it, it's a bit young. Let me refer to my notes from what I said a year ago. This is a year ago, me talking. Hey there, BrewTube! A year ago, I thought this. This is my overall opinion, okay? Big, bad, warming, sort of a holiday beer / moonshine, young, age one. Well, I did so. I paid $3.99 US for this beer. It was on sale. Got it on the clearance rack because I got to do my shopping, guys. Got to keep the budget on so I can keep my drink on. So, what do I think about this now? As it warms, it does get a little more boozy, but that's what happens with most beers that are 10.5% ABV. Let's be, you know, realistic about the whole thing. And as it warms, it gets more flavor, it gets more intense, more dark fruits, more of that honey taste. It's a little bit malty. There's actually, even after a year, there's a little bit of hops left, that floral hops in the finish. And as you let the beer warm, its consistency, it goes from sort of thin when it's cold to medium thin, which is okay. It's a real drinkable barley wine. It goes down real easy. I've drank most of this bottle, and I got a little bit of a buzz on. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, this is just a nice beer. I'm going to let the rest of this warm, drink it, man, and I'm really enjoying this one. If you guys get one, age it. You'll be a lot happier than when it was new. Maybe you like it new. Maybe you like that moonshine thing going on, getting your crunk on with something that's really hot. But after a year, it's not as hot. It still has that warming effect because, let's face it, it's a winter warmer. That's what it's supposed to do. And for the price, it's something that you can age, that you can get into cellaring with. So overall, this is not a bad beer. It gets a lot of knocks on the other grades. I'll tell you what it is young. There's no Cellared grades, of course, existing for this. But anyways, let's get into it here. Rate Beer gives it a 57. Even fresh, that's complete bullshit. Beer Advocate's giving it a 78. That's way too low too. I'm going to actually elevate this to the A-. I'm going to give this a full 90. It doesn't have a date on the bottle, but you know what, 10.5%, you're going to cellar it. I did my own dating on the bottom, as you can see here. I put 2011 on the bottom of the bottle. You guys can do that too. I had this in the fridge the entire time I cellared it, so it was under sort of optimal conditions. But you know what, this beer would cellar for years and years. And you know what, I've got another one because it was cheap. And I'm cheap sometimes, so I bought another one. So remember, guys, like I always say, thanks a million for watching. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever's your thing. Happy Holidays, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Next year, we're going to drink more beer. Why? Because drinking beer is fun. And I like reviewing beer. And I'm going to do this until it's not fun anymore. So, wow, is that going to ever happen? Man, I'm going to be an old bastard reviewing some beer. Anyways, until next time, guys, remember, think globally, drink locally, support the craft beer movement, keep this thing growing, and until next time, oh, that's a big what? Oh, that's a big ho, 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 peace out.